Hello and welcome to another episode of the Real Estate Investing Club. I'm your host, Gabe Peterson, and this is the place investors go to gain actionable advice, learn about current market trends, and hear war stories from other professional investors out there in the field today. Before we get started, I have two quick housekeeping items for you. First, if you like this episode, we would very much appreciate a like, subscribe, and share. It is the best way to support the show and keep it running far into the future. Second, if you're a new investor looking to get started in real estate or an experienced investor looking to take your investing to the next level, I've created an ebook just for you that will cover how to find deals that are actually deals, how to finance those deals with little to no money down, and how to exit those deals for maximum value. On top of that, I throw in an insane amount of free bonuses that you'll have access to once you buy the ebook. All I charge is our admin costs to keep this show running. So if you're serious about real estate investing and want to create both active and passive income as an investor, head on over to the website at therealestateinvestingclub.com and click on the button that says get the ebook in the upper right-hand corner to grab yourself a copy. With that said, let's dive right in. Today we have a very special guest with us, ready to drop some investor knowledge on you. So buckle up, grab your pen and paper, and enjoy the ride. All right, we are back with another episode of the Real Estate Investing Club. Today we have the Wolf of Youngstown himself, Nathan Bibb. Nathan is the founder of Hometown Fixer Upper out there in Ohio. They do residential flips, and I've been following Nathan on social media for a while. I love the stories and the stuff he posts, so I'm super excited to have him here. I'm sure he has a lot of good stories. So Nathan, thanks a lot. Thanks for hopping on the show.
Let's go, man.
Let's do it. I told you before we got on here, we like stories. We like to start with them. So I'm sure you got a good one. Why don't you take us to the beginning? How did you get started in real estate in the first place?
So I married a girl from Northeast Ohio. I moved here from San Diego back in like 2014. And just the short story is I was not in real estate. I was in cell phones. We used to buy quantities of cell phones and ship them over to Shenzhen, China.
You flip cell phones. So, I love it.
Yeah, that was my cash for phones became cash for houses. I came to this town, Youngstown, and I saw empty houses, and I was like, why are these houses empty? Why didn't anybody want them? And then somebody's like, oh, you can buy that house for like $5,000. And I'm like, what? I'm like, what do you mean? And
let's do it.
I'm not from a place where this is possible. So it just created all these. For real. It just created all these questions. And so I just read a bunch of books on real estate. Like I started like listening to Bigger Pockets podcast. It's jokingly where I say I got my associates in real estate. It was like the Bigger Pockets podcast. And it's where I learned what to look into deeper. So I would hear about this thing. I would hear about rent to own. I would hear about, seller wraps or whatever. And I would go buy a book about it. And I would buy some book or some $800, $999 guru program. And I would learn about it. But then I started going to the local RIA, and I was driving around one day and I saw a We Buy Houses trailer, and I just walked down the driveway and I'm like, hey man, what's that all about? And I ended up building a property management company with that guy.
Oh, wow.
And we ended up selling that because property management is a terrible soul-sucking business. But that was my first partnership, and I moved away from that. Then my wife and I, years later, started Hometown Fixer Upper, and we've been rock and roll with this for like 4 years. So that's the elevator pitch of 8 years in the biz.
Man, I love it. And that's I bet coming from San Diego into Ohio and seeing those like $5,000 price tags, you're just like, what the hell is going on here? San Diego with your $1 million for half of a door over there.
Yeah. Now, full disclosure, I'm not from California. I grew up in Tennessee, so I did migrate out west after college. But still, gotcha. The Middle Tennessee, Nashville area where I'm from is also not like that.
Yeah. San Diego is definitely its own beast. Property management, though, that it had to have been a really good. I know it's a hard business to run. It's a hard business to build, but it had to have been a good foundation for you to kind of go from there, because you had all the information about how to manage properties, what to look for, the shitty areas in the city that you don't want to be buying properties.
I was so poor when I ran that company that I was trying to make ends meet by being the guy who plunged toilets for $30 an hour. Like I made so little money doing that. But what it did is it taught me the business, it taught me construction, it taught me how to find contacts, how to talk to contractors. And I spent 3 years learning exactly what not to do, basically.
Yeah. So you ran that for 3 years, the property management company.
Yeah. And then I went to Tim Brotz's event. I went to a Tim Brotz event years ago before he had his whole, big education program. And he just looked at me. I told him my story and he goes, Nathan, you seem like a smart guy, but your company sucks. You need to sell it. And I'm like, what? And then I did. And it was the best decision of my life.
Yeah, it's great how you always have, I have those same people in my life who just kind of come out of nowhere and they give you the best advice. You act on it and you're like, holy shit, my life is completely changed at this point.
Tiny adjustments make all the difference in the world. It's like a golf swing.
Absolutely. But you didn't stay with property management. Obviously, you guys are doing you're doing residential flips. Do you do buy and holds right now too?
We do everything. Some of my mentors would say that you need to focus on one thing. But now, we do wholesales on occupied rentals because I don't want to keep these $25,000, $50,000, $40,000 houses. It's not my cup of tea. We wholesale those off. We buy and hold anything from $100,000 to $200,000 that we can burr out. We flip things if it doesn't really fit the burr model, and otherwise we do retail listings. So I've got like a 13-year, high performing realtor who handles acquisitions for me. And we just kind of kick deals back and forth. So if it doesn't fit in any of my exit strategies and they just want too much and it's a retail sale, I'm just like, hey, I'm happy to refer my realtor to you. So we're truly a one-stop shop when it comes to selling real estate.
Yep. And I love hearing, people who've built up their pipeline to where they can take advantage of every deal that comes through it, because, we see it. I'm on the commercial side and I see it even over here where it might not make sense for a wholesale, it might not make sense for buy and hold, but you can always refer it to a realtor, and having all of those, those tools in your tool belt allow you to really capitalize on every lead that comes in the pipeline. And so you do referrals to realtors, you do wholesales, you do buy and holds, you do flips. Those are all for residential. Are you on the commercial side as well, or?
No, not at all, man. I'm about to buy a commercial piece of real estate where my office is, but that'll be my first commercial thing ever. I've done 3 or 4 12-unit deals. I've done a 16-unit apartment deals, just residential apartments, but nothing commercial at all. One of my mentors is like, Nathan, you need to get into commercial triple net lease, but I'm good at what I'm at. I'm good at what I'm good at, and I'm just hanging here for now.
It's once you find, something that works, I say just stick with it. If you don't want to, what's the phrase? You don't want to reinvent the wheel or something like that. So that probably doesn't apply here, but whatever the phrase is, you've already figured out, you've already got your business up and running. And so there's no sense in completely changing everything.
Yeah, we're running our niche in our market for sure. For within 50 miles, nobody does it better than we do.
Yep. So I want to talk a little bit about raising capital, because I know you guys, do a lot of deals, and that takes a lot of capital. And I'm sure you guys you're not using your own money on all that stuff. So
not a dime, to be honest with you.
There we go. That's what I love to hear. So why don't you take us to that aspect of your business? Tell us, how do you do capital raises? How do you structure them? How do you find the people? How do you guys look at capital?
So it starts with a loud presence on social media. And I've raised I think every dollar that I've raised came from social media. And it's because I, first off, lead with education. I try to tell people, be like, hey, I did a post a few months ago that was just talking about, hey, if you been trying to figure out what to do with this rising real estate market, you want to capitalize on the equity gain in your property, but you don't want to sell your house because then you got to find another house. What can you do? So I was teaching people about hey, if you got $200,000 in equity, go get a home equity line of credit, and then find a good operator like myself that could potentially put that to work on real estate deals. And I pay a lot for money. I've been used to paying 12% and 3 points for years, and so that's what I pay my private lenders. But the thing is like, I don't deal with $400,000, $500,000 deals. My deals are $50,000, $70,000, $110,000. So that money doesn't really cost that much. Those numbers sound super sexy, but when you're talking about trying to nickel and dime somebody down to 7 and 2 versus 12 and 3, it's $1,500 at the end of the day for me. So who cares?
Right.
The deal's there. So I can pay those high numbers for that. And I just educate people, and I show them how to use it in their retirement accounts. And I show them how they're going to be in a first position mortgage on a piece of real estate that they're in an 80%, loan to value or less position on. And I just show them how it's safe. And when you lead with education, when you've been loud and people see you as a top quality, honest operator in your market, It's the easiest thing in the world to do.
Yep. Education is, being able to sell just through education, I feel like it's the best way to go about selling, because then you're not selling, you're just letting people know what their options are. The hard part that I found, at least for me, the podcast obviously helps a bunch because I have this content just there for me. But for people who don't have, a pre-made channel like a podcast, and they want to get into the social media side, what is the advice that you would give to them to really ramp up their social media game, to really start to get that exposure to so people can start bringing money to them and getting more deals done?
Stories. Like, it's the simplest thing to take anywhere from a 15-second to a 60-second video about what you got going on. What deal are you walking? What do the numbers look like? What are you doing when you walk in the office? What does your office decor look like? Is it cool, or are you broke, or you don't have an office, or are you doing it in your house? Just tell your story and let people watch your journey, because when you do this for years, they're like I was broke a few years ago. I think 2018, I filed $7,000 on my taxes or something. It was disgusting.
Me too, man. I was right there with you.
I come from nothing, bro. Nothing. And I'm not going to talk about it now, but when people see that grind, that struggle, that hustle, and you just continue on, and you're still loud, and you're showing people every day, and you're honest and you're open about what you do, they love that. It's attractive, and people are drawn to it, and they want to be a part of it. Guess what? There is a way to be a part of it. And if they trust you and they've seen your process and your growth, that's why I'm big on the 75 hard stuff. I didn't mean to wear the shirt, by the way. I was just wearing it today. That's why I'm big on personal development, exercise, mind and body every day, all of those things, because it's all things that people want. So when you do the effing work and people see that, they want it. And if it takes money to be a part of it, they'll give it to you.
I love it. And I've heard of 75 hard. I don't know what it is though. What is that thing?
All right, quick. It's just 75 days of 2 45-minute workouts a day. One has to be outside. I did it once in Ohio in January.
2 a days. Shit. Okay.
2 a days, and they can't be back to back. They have to be at different times of the day. So it's going to disrupt your schedule. You have to drink a gallon of water, read 10 pages of a book, and follow a strict diet plan, no alcohol, and take a progress picture every day. And if you miss one drop of water, one progress picture, one page of a book, you eat one cookie, you started from the finish, or from the start. It took me 6 months to get it done the first time because I failed 3 times. My buddy Christian Coburn down in Atlanta, he failed on day 69 or something because he forgot his progress picture.
Oh,
that's honesty, but that's holding yourself accountable.
Yeah. No, I love those things, not just because obviously you get good results physically, but also because it does do the mental side of things. Like if you are holding yourself accountable to small things, like taking a picture every day, doing 2 workouts a day, that really grinds, it sharpens your mind to the point where you see that spilling over into your business, which I'm sure you've seen yourself.
It's pure discipline.
Yep. I love it. Love it. All right, moving on. Talked about capital raises. Let's talk about the economy and what you see going on into the future. I know before we got on this podcast, you mentioned you're ripping and roaring, ready for the downturn. So what do you see coming down the pipeline? What do you see for the future, and what's your guys' plan to take advantage of that?
Sold my crystal ball.
He's looking at the crystal ball right now.
All right. So, obviously we don't have a crystal ball. We don't know what's happening, but we're preparing for a change. I'm preparing for those higher dollar price point flips for that market of buyers to really dry up. I'm hearing about 10% interest rates coming down the pipe before the end of the year. I'm hearing those things, which, if you don't understand the correlation between, buyers pre-approval and interest rates, let's just say for every 1 or 2%, it's going to go down a significant amount of money. So when you're selling a $600,000 house and there were people, you had 25 offers on it, well, guess what? When that interest rate goes to 6 to 10%, you're going to cut that way down, because those $600,000, pre-approved buyers, they're now at 300. They're, you take that 5% and you go to 10, you cut their buying power in half. Yeah. So be careful on those high-end flips. If your exit strategy is a high-end flip, be careful of those price points. I'm actually in my market because our average piece of property is between 70,000 to 150,000. That's gone up over the years. Over the past
really
few
low
years,
though.
Super low. Some of the top 5, 10 lowest price points in the country. Mm-hmm. It's Ohio. It is what it is.
Yeah.
But I want to stay in that area that has high sellability still. It's still a seller's market. There's still low inventory. I want to stay in those places that still has a large pool of buyers. So I want to stay out of luxury real estate. I want to stay out of, vacation real estate, things like that. I think travel's gonna go down. Gas is up. That means for gas for traveling, gas for airplanes, all of those costs are up. So, I mean, the Airbnb space, I think you're going to get hit a little bit hard on that. This is straight out of Tim Ross's playbook, man. What is never going to go away is decent condition, B-class residential real estate. There will always be a demand for that.
Yep. I love it. And yeah, speaking of the airplane thing, just got caught in my mind. I went on a due diligence trip in Indiana a couple weeks ago, and usually a flight to Indiana, I don't know, it was like $300 from Seattle. I think I paid $700 to get over there. I was like, what the hell is going on? Yeah, I mean, I bought it a little late, so it's partially my fault, but
still though, man,
that's just the gas. It's just crazy. All right, well, that wraps it up. I just took a peek at the clock. We have gone through our time, so we got one last section, and that is the quick question round. Are you ready?
Let's go.
Let's do it. Starts with books or any form of education. I'm a big bookie, so give me 2 recommendations, one for general life wisdom and one for real estate or business specific.
Are you a big bookie? Without even going to my bookshelf, here's the edge of my desk. But I'm going to talk to you about what's at the top of mine. It might be backwards, but it's The Way of the Wolf.
Okay. Jordan Belfort. All right.
This book is sick. Like we're all in sales in real estate. I mean, we're all in sales in life. Right. But this book and his straight line selling system is absolute fire. I just came back from a Tiffany High and Josh High event. They're absolute beasts in the real estate space down in Columbus. They're flipping like 30 to 50 deals a month. They're killing it in the space. So we're implementing a lot of their systems right now. And Josh,
30 to 50 a month, you said? That is crazy volume. Jesus Christ.
Killing it. So I mean, we do like 5 to 7, something like that. So that's good. Yeah. But we're trying, I'm about to open up a new market in Tennessee. So I'm trying to get my market to 10 and then Tennessee to 10. So I'm trying to hit about 20 a month by the end of next year. Yeah, anyway, back to books. That book is absolute fire. Non-real estate book, man, I'm going to drop Rick Warren, The Purpose Driven Life. I'm a member in my church. I'm as active as I have time to be, believer in Jesus Christ and all those things. And that is a book that made a huge difference for me, The Purpose Driven Life. It just helps, you get your spiritual side centered with what you really want to do with your life, where you want to go, what you want to do for your family, what you want to do in your community, and just get your goals for being a great dude dialed in.
I love it. Anything about aligning intentions, I am all behind. All right, and that takes us to the next question. This one is for your younger self. So if you go back to that Nathan who was broke as can be, he had $2 to his name. Go back to him, look him in the eye, give him one piece of advice moving forward.
I would probably just point myself in the right direction faster, tell myself people that I need to stay away from, and tell myself people that I need to spend more time with. Don't be afraid to have that conversation with that dude who is already where you want to go. Just identify and develop key relationships.
I love it, man. Relationships are everything, especially in real estate. I can't say especially because every business it's all relationships, but I do feel like real estate specifically is very relationship heavy. So love that. That moves us to the next question, and I just lost my spot. There we are. United States, it's a big place, a lot of opportunity to invest out there, a lot of square miles. So what is a metro that you are most excited about that is not your backyard?
Okay, that brings me to the next upcoming month. So I'm actually about to move to Tennessee for a few months. Yeah, so I'm going to rent just an Airbnb or something down there. It's Middle Tennessee. It's the town I went to college in, Murfreesboro, Tennessee. So I'm going to be moving down to that market. It's significantly more competitive than mine is now. It's about 30 minutes south of Nashville. I love Nashville. I may eventually bleed into Nashville, but that market is just hyper competitive. But we are very good at what we do, and I have full confidence that when we get down to Tennessee, we are going to hit the ground running and just spread like wildfire. So I'm gonna move down there for a couple months, hang out with a bunch of old friends, have a real good time, But during that time, I'm going to be meeting with all these people that I met on social media, you know, realtors, investors, flippers, title companies, attorneys, contractors, like taking meetings with all my successful real estate friends down there and just figuring out, guys, what can we do together? Here's what I'm doing. I'm coming. How do we win together?
There you go, you guys. If you're looking to open a market, that is the way to do it. So take notes. And Nashville, man, I love that market. That's I mean, it is competitive, but just the city itself. The first time I went down there was, I think it was last year, and I just had a blast. I really like the vibe in that city.
It's ridiculous.
Yep.
Plus, my buddy just bought a 6,000 square foot lake house right on the lake right outside Nashville. It's actually where I got this hat a few weeks ago. So I get to spend some time down there with my buddy.
Love it. All right, next question. This one is habits. Habits form the foundation of our life. So if you could point to one thing you do day in and day out that you feel contributes the most to your overall health, well-being, happiness, and success, what would that be?
That's going to be mind and body, and it's something that I track every day. On my desk, I keep the Compound Effect by Darren Hardy.
Love that.
I keep that's the weekly rhythm register. Another tool that Brock's gave me, but it's basically just things that you identify in your life that are going to move the needle forward, and you're committing to doing them every day to become that 1% better. And so, I mean, the things that I track every day is what time I get out of bed, reading, and exercise. I make sure I hit my 45 minutes down in the gym. And, you know, I sweat, I cry, I do whatever I'm doing down there, but those things are non-negotiable no matter what's going on.
Perfect. Reading, exercise, and then you said the time you get out of bed.
Yeah, just, you know, things that you track will improve. So, yeah. I mean, if you're, you know, if you got drunk the night before and you slept till 8:45, guess what? You're not getting to the office till noon because you still got to work out the mind and body. So you just lost half your day just from one, night of bad choices.
Yep. And man, now I'm rounding the corner on 35 here, and my body just can't drink anymore. I have one beer and the entire body just shuts down. It's ridiculous. All right. Moving on. This one is for tools. I know you use a lot of tools. I use a ton of software tools in my business. So give us your best one. What is the number one software tool that you use that you feel is just killer?
Bro, I'm going to take this question in a completely different way. And my tool is people. Okay. I've learned that it's, for me, like through my growth, through my development, it's all about capacity. What's the amount of work that you can get done? And how much more work can you do if you have 10 hands, And so my biggest tool is other people. And as I've grown, I've realized that I only have a couple jobs, in my company. It's selling real estate because I still do dispo, and it's developing my team. So like if it's revenue generating, I'm selling the real estate, I'm raising the capital. But if it's not that, I'm developing my team. I'm trying to put them in between everything that is there, because the better that they do, the better we all do.
Love that. People is I don't want to call them tools, but they are the most important thing in anybody's business for sure. And that actually, you kind of touched on the very last question there. Oops. And I already lost my spot. So I'm going to skip that one, and we're going to move on to the question that most people have on their mind that are listening. I'm sure they want to reach out and figure out how they can also build a business like yours, because you are crushing it out there in the Midwest. So what is the best way for somebody to reach out and say hi?
Let's see. You can find me on Instagram on Nathan's House of Love. No, I'm just kidding. It's just Nathan Bibb, Nathan Bibb. That'll get me on Facebook and Instagram. And that's really all I do. I'm not like, I'm not new school. I don't do YouTube. I don't do TikTok, any of that stuff. But yeah, just Nathan Bibb, man. Find me. If you want to call me, you can drop my number in the show notes or something, or whatever you do. I'm fine with people calling me. It's always a good time.
All right. Sounds good. Instagram. I will put that in the show notes. Nathan Bibb with 2 B's. If you all want to reach out, go ahead and click a little more in the description. It'll pull down the full description in there. You can find his Instagram, or I'm sure you can just search it, because there's not a lot of Bibbs out there with 2 B's. Yeah, and that leads us to the very end. Nathan, thanks a lot for hopping on. I'm glad we were able to do this. So thanks for jumping on.
Hey, had a good time, man. Appreciate you.
Absolutely. And for everybody who's here with us today, thank you guys for showing up. You are the reason we do this. So if you have any questions whatsoever, reach out to me, Gabe at the realestateinvestingclub.com. Other than that, I hope you have a great week. Keep rocking real estate, and I look forward to seeing you on the next episode. Thank you for joining us for another episode of the Real Estate Investing Club. I hope you guys enjoyed the episode as much as I enjoyed putting it on, and we're able to pull some actionable advice that you can apply in your own investing today in the field. Before you go, we have a gift for you. If you're a new investor looking to get started or an established investor looking to take your investing to the next level, I've created an ebook just for you, available on our website. This ebook will cover how I was able to create both active and passive income in real estate with very little money to start with. In it, I will address the 3 most often cited obstacles new and veteran investors run into by showing you how to find deals that are actually deals, how to finance a deal with little to no money down, and how to exit those deals for maximum value. And if you get the ebook today, I am throwing in a bundle of bonuses, 7 of them to be exact. The first one will be the off-market lead generation blueprint, which will take you through the exact systems and processes we use to generate off-market leads like clockwork, which is the most important skill when it comes to creating wealth in real estate. The second bonus is the A to Z REI systems and vendors guide, which will allow you to peek under the hood of our business and see the exact tools, systems, and even the vendors we use to see the success that we do. And the third bonus is the top 100 best performing keywords pack, which will give you the exact keywords we use to target motivated sellers online using PPC ads. The fourth bonus is our contracts bundle for wholesaling and renting real estate, which will give you access to all the contracts we use in the field to execute all different types of transactions. After that is the Investors Quick Analysis Calculator and Offer Tool, which will allow you to quickly calculate whether a deal is an actual deal and will allow you to create an offer automatically from those calculations. This is a lot of bonuses that I said. I'm just going to keep going down the list. Number 6 is the Investors Daily Success Tracker, which is a tracker you can use to ensure you are taking the right actions day in and day out to reach your financial goals in real estate. And the last bonus is the Wholesalers Template for Quick Assignment Cash, which will give you the templates we use to present our wholesale deals professionally and efficiently to our buyers. Whew, that is a bundle. So it's a mouthful. You get all of those bonuses for free when you download the ebook. All we charge is the admin cost to run the show. So if you're interested in the ebook and the bonus bundle, head on over to the website at therealestateinvestingclub.com. Click on Get the Ebook Bundle at the top of the page to take advantage of that deal. And with that said, I hope you have a fantastic day, an even better week. Keep rocking real estate, and I look forward to seeing you on the next episode.